The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Thanks, Helen.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Open Friday, the one and only talk show, bringing the flavor of the Bronx and the world of New York straight to you. I'm Rina Valentin, your host, Y Café con Leche, for the next hour. Let's take a glimpse into today's show. First up, the Open Weekend Preview with all the fun things to do around the city. Then Jubei Raziel, author of Where the Butterflies Dwell, shares his journey to publish his book. After that, we'll discuss what it means to be socially responsible in business with Jasmine Jordan. The Sports Roundup with Bobby C follows, and the show ends with a sneak peek at the Johnny Pacheco Jazz Festival happening next week at Lehman College. So stick around. All this is headed your way because now we are officially open. Hello and welcome to Open Friday. I'm Rina Valentin, your host, Y Café con Leche. And, we're always reminding you to follow us on Twitter at BronxNet TV and to make sure you like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And, of course, don't forget to follow me on FB and Twitter at Rina Valentin. I'm always looking for new friends. And, well, now we're going to check out what's going on around the city in our Open Weekend Preview. First up, morphology of the print at Lehman College Art Gallery. This exhibit opened in October, but is still going strong. Check it out at the Lehman College Art Gallery on the campus of Lehman College, located at 250 Bedford Park Boulevard. And of course, that's in the Bronx. And you can actually go to Lehman College, Lehman EDU/gallery for gallery times. And next up, we have the Family Art Project at Wave Hill. That's right, it's alive with crunchy leaves of fall. Fashion a festive crown, lost leaves in the wind, and walk right through leaf piles. Actually, you're going to leave there making artful arrangements of leaves and collages, leaf designs that you can carry home. And of course, this is a family event happening on Saturday, November 16th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Wave Hill. And Wave Hill is located at the Wave Hill House, West 249th Street and Independence Avenue in the Bronx. For more, you can check out wavehill.org. And finally, the 6th annual Latino College Fair. That's actually coming up soon. And what you can do is you actually come and meet representatives of various colleges and help your high schoolers, or if you're in high school, you can come check that out to, help them find the college of their dreams. And that is actually happening on Saturday, November 23rd. And the registration opens at 11:30 a.m. And for more information, you can call 518-436-4781, extension 23, or you can email sabra at cicu.org. And that's what we have for you this week. Be sure to get out, explore, and actually research a little. Yeah, some interesting stuff this week. All right, so now we're going to have a nice little DJ chat with Vince Brace and see, let's see. Are we all getting ready for the holidays? Is it just me? Is it you? What's up, DJ?
Rena Valentine, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
How you doing today?
So, I asked you about the holidays because, I always have mixed feelings when, this time of the year comes around.
Really?
Pressure.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily, but the truth is that it could be a lot of pressure if you actually don't really deal with it in a timely fashion.
You want to make sure you get everything done, relatively quickly. Christmas shopping, if you celebrate it. Thanksgiving stuff, if you celebrate it, make sure you have some of those canned goods taken care of. Make sure you have your turkey locked down, where you're going to buy it from.
Well, it's true, though. That they say that the holiday season is the season that most people become depressed. And so we're having this conversation right now at the top of the month. Well, actually, we're at the middle of the month.
Yeah.
We're November 15th. It's about time.
We're
it's about
almost
time. All the leaves have fallen off the tree. It's time, people. It's time to start getting with it. And truth be told, once Thanksgiving kicks in and Black Friday kicks in, then everybody starts running. Yeah, and that's where, it becomes like the madhouse, and everybody's like...
It's a rush to the end of the year.
Yeah, pretty much. What is that? What do you think that's about?
I'm not sure. I think everybody just wants to get it over with and be like, oh, let me spend all this money now and then make my New Year's resolution and then get on with, I don't know, whatever comes in January.
Yeah, how do you feel about the holidays?
I actually do like the holidays.
You do?
It takes me a while to get into the holiday spirit. I usually don't get there until like the week of Christmas.
Yeah, you're super delayed.
Yeah.
He's like the
and I'm like,
weekend.
oh my gosh. And then it's like, oh, look, it's snowing. This is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the holidays. More than me being in the spirit, I like to see other people in the spirit.
I
like
love
to see,
the holidays in New York.
Yes,
okay?
I like to see
The
New Yorkers
holidays in
helping
New
each
York
other,
are the
all that
bomb.
good stuff.
No, well, we get the ice skating rinks
Oh, yeah.
outdoors because indoors is not the same people. And then we have the Rockefeller Christmas tree. And then we have loads of festivals that actually we do giveaways, especially here in the Bronx. Because I'm hosting the one for the Fordham Road bid. I'm also hosting the one for the Jerome Gun Hill bid. And I'm just mentioning it now because, there's a lot of free giveaways. And I get to stand out there in the cold and smile.
It look nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I enjoy doing it.
Free stuff is always
great.
great.
I love it. I love that part of the holidays, and that is, of course, the spirit of giving. The spirit of giving. That's what it should be all about.
Definitely. It's better to give than to receive, people, all the time.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
Okay, fine.
Don't get it twisted. Miss Racy in the house. Hopefully he's going to play some freestyle for me today because I'm so feeling the freestyle this week. Woo! All right, we have to take a quick break, but we'll be back with Where the Butterflies Dwell after this. However, we're going to take a look at the latest episode of Rena Gets Lean. In the first season of Rena Gets Lean, we went on an adventure and tried out different methods of training and eating to develop a healthier lifestyle. While on that journey, we discovered the level of commitment it takes. So join me in season 2 as we continue to explore and form new habits to reach destination Rena Gets Lean. Today, we are in Central Park, my new backyard. I'm with an old friend of mine, Daniel Santana, doing a buddy system for this summer.
Bring your knees up high. I want you to break sweat, get your body warmed up and ready for the run.
Okay, here we go. With every workout, there's a warm-up. And so Daniel's preference is jumping rope. But not just jumping rope, making sure that my knees are lifted while jumping rope. So he wants me to do it slow, not fast, and bring my knees up. Here we are running around the iconic Central Park Reservoir with the beautiful skyline, and I have Daniel by my side coaching me on lifting my knees because we're finally focusing on my lower abdominal area. Bring up my knees. Right? So it's like trotting.
Yeah, trotting, exactly.
It's a beautiful thing when you have somebody by your side reminding you to knee lifts, knee lifts, knee lifts, knee lifts. Knee lifts. Did I mention knee lifts? And you're saying to land on what?
And land on your ball point of your feet. You know, so you get a higher up.
The beauty of running with Daniel, who is also a therapist and understands the body, aside from focusing on my abs, he was also mindful of the fact that I had injuries on my ankles, which, you know, I had them wrapped up. And so he was teaching me the placement of my feet while jogging so that I didn't re-injure or agitate my ankles. We just finished jogging around the reservoir, and now we're going to shift over to the handball courts where we're going to play racquetball. And it's walking distance, but it's quite a process because I have to take a few layers off and throw some sunscreen on and prepare for a top 20 racquetball player, Daniel Santana. I actually originate from the handball courts, playing handball back in the day. But now I have this racket that I have to use. And you know what? It's such a great feeling because you forget you're working out, and I feel good walking off the courts. It's like I was back in my teenage days. So as I warm up for Mr. Top 20 racquetball player, my focus is to keep the ball on the court, of course, hit it on the wall, one bounce. So we decided to play a singles game. Oh. So I'm down. Once you know how to serve, that you pretty much dominate the game, and he's a good server, so he dominated the game. I'm still learning that part.
So yeah, bring it back.
All right.
Stretch.
In every workout, the conclusion is stretching, and the stretching that we have been doing has been quite interesting because it's a mutual stretch, and we also have been stretching in zones. Even if you could stretch all the way, we do it in increments till we reach that point of the ultimate stretch. So now that we've had this lovely workout in the hot sun, we're gonna cap it off by jumping into the sprinklers here in the baseball field. We concluded in jumping in the sprinklers like little kids. I loved it. How refreshing.
That's great.
Now that I've been inspired to be one with my breath and body in motion, I don't know what you've been told, but Rena is gonna reach her goal in the next episode of Rena Gets Lean. Oh my goodness, welcome back to the studio. I'm laughing because I so wish it was hot and I was jumping into a fountain right about now, but that doesn't seem to be the case. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. We're back in the studio, and our first guest is a native Bronxite with a mystical story behind the writings of his book, Where the Butterflies Dwell, a fantastical adventure of love and legend. Please welcome Jubei Raziel to the show. Hello, hello.
Hi, thank you for having me, Rena.
Yes. So, your book, Where the Butterflies Dwell. Let's just start with the journey of the inspiration behind writing this book and how you actually were exploring in your writing abilities.
Yeah, well, it started out as emails to a friend of mine that I was secretly attracted to. Her name was Janina, and you know, she fit the classic, you know, young, beautiful, talented, popular girl. So I had to really think of a creative way to get her attention. So I would...
Can I just say before you keep going that I just think that's so sweet, you know, because it's like, oh, chivalry still exists. That, you know, the fact that you actually thought about the way you were going to approach, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I have to credit my parents for that one.
Nice. Who happened to be in the audience, right?
Yes.
Shout out to Mommy and Papi.
Yeah, my mom.
Oh, your mom. That's not your Papi over there?
No, that's my mom.
Okay.
And, you know, from there, she responded to the emails, which was great. And really what I try to create was a story that she would be interested in. So I had to really put some of my creativity in, you know, making something pretty unique.
And what would that story entail? What do you think would interest her, and how did you know it would interest her?
Oh, I had no idea what it was.
Okay, so you were guessing, but what is
Totally
it that
guessing.
you felt that was going to, like, I guess, court her, because that's what you were trying to do, right?
You know, at that point, just having her respond to the email or liking what I sent her was good enough for me. So when I sat, I thought of something fantastical that I could devise. And it just seemed, it was a total risk, I mean, but it seemed like appropriate to create another place, another world in this story, something that was immersive, that took her away from, for the reader, be taken away to another time and place. And I went with that. So it seemed to pay off, actually. So.
And so she was actually part of your story as well.
Well, yes. When I first wrote the first couple of emails, I did write about a particular female character, and it was her. And she knew that I wrote it for her, but she also knew that it was her character in the story that I was writing about. So.
Okay, so all of this was just emails going back and forth.
This was emails
in
going
private.
Back and forth. In private, yes.
And then you decided to go social with it. Was that before the incident or after?
This was before. She was very encouraging. She loved the emails, the story that I was creating, and she really encouraged me to, go social with it and share it with friends and family.
All right, so how long was that process? Like you going back and forth with her and then jumping into social?
It was a few months.
A few months,
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because it took a while for me to, feel comfortable enough just to even share anything with, socially with
How
people.
long ago was this?
This is about 3.5, 4 years ago.
3.5, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And so after all of this going back and forth with the social, actually going back and forth with the emails, leading into the social, going public with your writing, what happened?
Okay, so tragically, my friend Janina, died in a motorcycle collision. And this happened actually last year. And it was devastating for, everyone who knew her. She was such an incredible person, very inspiring, talented individual. And it was, it was very difficult because this is someone that I was obviously attracted to, but this is someone who encouraged me to write, to help me, put my work out publicly.
And you were also intimately involved at that particular time.
Well, yeah,
I mean, intimately in the sense that you guys were actually exchanging energies and working with each other.
Creatively, it certainly was,
yes.
because she was a very source of inspiration for driving, my story and, my ability to continue creating content.
And so she passed away, or she transitioned on, and instead of stopping, you kept going.
Yes, I did. I contacted Janina's mom, Janice, who I didn't meet up until, afterwards, after the incident. And I said, listen, I have these emails. Your daughter and I knew each other. We had mutual friends. And would you like to have these emails? I was writing a story for your daughter. Would you like to have them? And the mom said she would be delighted. She would love it. So I just literally started just forwarding the emails. And as I was forwarding the emails, I was giving the story, because I was sending it pretty much chapter by chapter, if you will. I was reading over the stories and the chapters and within the story, and thought to myself, man, let me fix this up a little bit. Let me send it to her. And following the weeks after the funeral, I was sending her periodically these emails,
right.
And she, looked forward to them, a lot. And towards the end, I just felt that it wasn't enough, that I
right.
needed to do something more. And that's when I just, on a whim, just said, you know what? I want to make a book.
Nice.
I want to take all these emails. I want to take everything that I've, created and create something more.
Nice.
And that's where it started.
And hence we have Where the Butterflies Dwell.
Incredible that I was able to do this within a year. I know people who've been wanting to publish for a long time, and it's just been such a blessing to be able to create it in such a short amount of time, because I wanted to present it to Janice and her Janina's sister, and Janice's the daughter, Ciara, for the first anniversary of the death.
And so when was it published?
I was published, on August 22nd, on the actual anniversary of Janina's passing. So.
Yeah, and so congratulations, and the story itself behind the actual development of the book is inspirational, and it's touching. I mean, of course, it's a little sad, but before we leave, can you just share with everybody what they would actually get a taste of in reading Where the Butterflies Dwell? The title itself is beautiful.
Thank you. The title actually comes from two things. One, it's relative to the story, but also it's like a hidden element of how I felt whenever I was around Janina. Just the feelings inside, butterflies in the stomach, if you will. The story is a fantastic fantasy adventure centralized around a character named Benjamin. It's another world, it's another place and time, and it's magical. It's just a beautiful story with romance and with adventure, mystery, and really capturing the character of Janina. All the characters in the story, too, are inspired by real-life people that Janina knew and I knew as well. So a lot of names are in there, including Janina's mom, Janice, and her sister, Ciara. So it's just an incredible journey, great story.
Awesome. And thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much
Thank you for
me,
being here. And you know what? Thank you for keeping her spirit alive through your writings. And congratulations to you on your first publishing. I'm sure the first of many.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you very much.
All right. Once again, for more on Jubei Raziel and Where the Butterflies Dwell, you can check out his website at Jubei, which is JUBEI RAZIEL, JubeiRaziel.com. After the break, author Jasmine Jordan talks to us about her writing career. That's right after this.
Friday, November 1st, here at the Focal Point Gallery in City Island, Ron Turner presents a one-man showcase of the artworks from Tim Moses. Every month, Turner presents a new showcase of works from various artists at the Focal Point Gallery.
Tim is a City Island resident, so I'm representing this month a local artist. It's a collection of artwork of at least 20 years of his work, and it ranges from seascapes, still lives, portraits, sculpture, and it's a fascinating show to come and see.
Being heavily involved in the water life, Tim Moses' work is influenced by his experience sailing and diving. As a City Island resident, Moses has 20 years of marine experience that he expresses in his artwork.
The show basically breaks down into three areas. I'm a sailor. I have a boat here on City Island. So you see a lot of nautical stuff here. The second part is that I'm a diver, so there's a lot of these fish paintings that are from some time ago. The other big thing is that I spent a lot of time in Helen Bay Park and at Orchard Beach. So you're going to see around the room a lot of stuff that was done from the park, either at Orchard Beach or on the islands out there. And, it's a terrific resource, and this is sort of celebrating that.
Guests who attended this showcase event enjoyed their time as they met with the artist and supported his work.
This is a terrific community for this kind of thing. There's a lot of arts that go on here, and the location is extraordinary. You have the city on one side, and we have this whole sound out here on the other, which is like a different world that you can go sailing, and that's represented a lot of this. And then in the middle of it, you got the park. Unbelievable.
In the future, what I do with the gallery is to give everybody an opportunity to show their work. This month was dedicated to Tim. I've known him for a long time, and he thought it was time to expose all of his work. But generally, I like to give all artists an opportunity to show their work.
Be sure to check out Tim Moses' artwork at the Focal Point Gallery. The Focal Point Gallery is located at 321 City Island Avenue, Bronx, New York 10464. Tim's artwork will be displayed for the month of November.
Hello, welcome back to Open. Our next guest has been writing for almost all her life, writing about topics geared towards social consciousness. And her newest book, Social Entrepreneurship, The Complete Guide to Starting a Socially Responsible Business, is her fourth publishing. And she is here to discuss strong ideas for a successful enterprise. Please welcome author Jasmine Jordan. Hello.
Hi,
and
thank
welcome.
you so much for inviting me here today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being the empowering woman that you are.
And I want to say the same as well. You have an incredible reputation for being a wonderful journalist and inspiring women in media like myself. So I want to say thank you to you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. And, you know, we have some books here, and I know we're actually going to talk about your latest publishing, but I thought we would share with everyone your journey, because what's really interesting about your style of writing is that you're not just geared in one direction. There's obviously a social consciousness, and so if you would, you take the lead and take us on your journey of different age brackets, because that's what you kind of work with.
Well, I'm an author, and I'm also a ghostwriter of memoirs. And so I write about people who inspire me, people who touch my life, and experiences that have imprinted on me. Fly South with the Butterflies was one of the first books that I wrote.
Which is the one in the center.
Which is this book right here. And so it's basically a story about family caregiving. It's based on my experience of being 12 years old, and I was a storyteller, and I went to a lot of storytelling contests, which I would win. And there was one particular experience where I wanted to see my grandmother for Thanksgiving, and we had moved from Florida, so I didn't get to see her that much. And so she became extremely ill. And so it had a major impact on our family. And it's a story of family caregiving. It's what families go through when the pillar of their family becomes ill. So that's the point of the story. It's about faith, family, and friendship, and staying together, and how a community can galvanize to come together and take care of each other.
Right. It doesn't have to just be one person.
Yes, that's very important, because a lot of the times caregivers feel very isolated, and it's a story of a family coming together.
Nice. And then the next book was?
The next book is Our Forever Home, A Homeless Child's Journey. Now, this book, whenever I take this to conferences and events, people always have the same reaction. What is this? And I need this book. A few years ago, I worked at a supportive housing nonprofit here in the Bronx. And there were families coming out of the shelter system, AIDS patients, people like 21 years old. And so through that experience, I had the chance to meet so many different kinds of people living in poverty, struggling with illness, struggling to maintain housing, and most of all, the children imprinted on me. In our office, the children would come in, and it was an example of what their apartment was going to look like, for them coming out of the shelter system. And some of them would take me around the apartment and say, this is going to be where I live. We're not going to be at the shelter anymore. And so we had moved to that building from another building, and my desk at the other building was in the community room, and children would come in and they would read books, and I would overhear their conversations and things like that. And so I put my picture on this book just to say, I identify with you.
That's you as a little girl?
Yes,
wow.
I feel your struggle, And so I wanted to create this book for children to let them know homelessness ends, poverty ends, and God has a plan for your life.
And so is that for children's reading?
Yes.
It's what level?
It's for 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds.
Nice. Yeah. So it's good. That's a good age. And
it's a little advanced for kids.
Right. No, but, so they reread it, and keep reading it. That's how we do it, right? Mm-hmm. And so the Student Chronicles?
The Student Chronicles is a book that I co-wrote with a man named Alonzo Cobb. It's a very unique book because it's about the memoirs of a black Jewish Republican, which often sounds like an oxymoron to a lot of people, but there are a lot of black Jews, right. There are a lot of black Republicans, and so it talks about how to stabilize your finances, how to build a stable family. It talks about the breakdown of the American family, especially the black family. It talks about the different issues that black Jews go through and things like that. So yeah, it's a memoir.
And then, so now I just wanted to make sure I say the title right. So now the new book that's coming out is Social Entrepreneurship, The Complete Guide to Starting a Socially Responsible Business.
Yes.
Is that coming from a woman's voice?
Yes, as always.
Yeah, I know, because you're writing it. However, is it geared more towards women?
Not specifically women. It's written from a woman.
Right.
But it's for all people of all ages. I attended Pace University's Master of Public Administration program, and my program specialized in social entrepreneurship. So a social entrepreneur is someone who has a double bottom line: to generate a social impact and also to make money. And so social entrepreneurship is sometimes difficult for people to understand. It's a spectrum, actually, from someone who wants to have an impact on their community to more complex partnerships between nonprofit organizations and businesses to like develop products and different things like that, and events where the business pays for the product to be developed and some of the proceeds will go to that nonprofit. Since the crash of 2008, a lot of nonprofits have been in a scramble to create their own income. A lot of funders and investors want the nonprofit to be self-supporting, and donations had gone down severely at that time. In the nonprofit sector, there's about 2 million nonprofits right now, and so they do make billions of dollars, but those billions of dollars are just going to a select number of organizations. And so you have a lot of grassroots organizations that are responsible for their own destiny, essentially. So that's what it is.
So basically, you're actually you provided some type of reference to actually, I guess, reassure or validate their independence in operations.
Yes, the book actually has a complete listing of funding opportunities for social entrepreneurs, how to build a strong business, how do you create products that will generate money for your business. It talks about a lot of different things like that. How do you do a business plan and create a strong foundation with good partnerships and really breaking into the business and nonprofit industry, because it can be difficult for a lot of people.
Right, to understand the difference, right? Because you have to meet certain criteria, and then and then you deal with sponsorship versus underwriters.
Exactly, exactly.
So, and it's a lot of like terminology. This is awesome. I'm really thank you for coming here and sharing all these different books for all different aspects of our existence, and most importantly, being inspired to elevate our community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And also, I know you do a television program on caregivers.
Yes.
If you could just share that before we go, so that people know
I
when
want
they
to
can see
announce.
it.
Yes. November is National Caregivers Month, and it's a month that all people can celebrate the plight of family caregivers. You can post on Facebook that it's National Caregivers Month. If you have a sick grandmother, you can make her some soup, go and see her. There's all kinds of ways that you can become someone else's angel and make a difference in someone else's life. And so we have a program here on BronxNet on Channel 70 that provides educational and tangible resources for family caregivers. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Woo, awesome. All right, once again, for more on Jasmine and her other works, you can check out caregivingandyou.com. Yes, happy Caregivers Month to all you caregivers out there. All right, once again, we also want to remind you that it's Savor the Bronx Week, and, well, not to be undone, the 3363 Steakhouse is having a gluten-free food show. Yeah, check that out. That's happening next week on November 19th. You can actually enjoy a 5-course dinner while learning about the benefits of going gluten-free. Once again, you can go to check out 3363, and that's in written THIRTY 363 SIXTY3.com, or you can call 718-828-3363 for more. All right, coming up next is Sports with Roundup with Bobby C. Sports Roundup with Bobby C. after the break.
This is Bobby C. reporting from MetLife Stadium, where the New York Football Giants were jumping for joy as they reeled off their third straight victory Sunday over the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, we're finding ways to win, and that's nice. And obviously, won 3 in a row, but we still, we still got to figure out some things. We still got to, play a little bit better. But we are kind of coming together as a team and finding ways to win games in the fourth quarter and playing a little better. So, obviously that's good to see. That's what we need to do, and we got to keep working offense. Defense has been playing outstanding. They've been playing really great offense. We got to start. Being a little bit more consistent and having some better drives and obviously not putting them in a bind and turning the ball over.
We really haven't lost any of that optimism. Even at 0-6, we felt as though we could still, climb out of the hole we were in. We still are in the hole, but obviously it feels good to have 3 in a row here and 2 more games in a row at home. And we're starting to play with a lot of confidence. And, that's something that hopefully we can continue to build on and continue to, get back in this race.
You have to win at all costs. You have to find a way to win. And I think defensively we came together. We understood what they were trying to do to us. We was able to stop the run game. So, they started throwing little screens here and there. They were, kind of successful at it. But, like I said, as a defense, you can bend a little bit as long as you don't break. And, we never broke as a defense today.
Everybody's just feeding off of me and I'm feeding off of them. And it's a good feeling right now. You want to enjoy this win and then watch the film and go back out there next week and get ready for the Packers.
The G-Men are now 3-6 and will host the Green Bay Packers in another key matchup this Sunday at the Meadowlands. The Packers are still without star quarterback Aaron Rodgers and may be fit for the taking. Kickoff is set for 4:25 p.m. I'll take the Giants for 4 in a row, and I say they win by 2 touchdowns. Fresh off the bye week, the New York Jets will take a trip to upstate New York and Ralph Wilson Stadium to face the Buffalo Bills this Sunday at 1 p.m. And they'll have some new company along for the ride. Safety Ed Reed, who cleared waivers after he was cut by the Houston Texans earlier this week, signed with the Jets and is now reunited with former coach Rex Ryan, who he played for in Baltimore. Reed called out the brass in Houston and was let go. We'll see if Houston's loss is New York's gain. No gains for the New York Knicks on Thursday night at MSG. New York lost 109-106 to the Houston Rockets, and another return for former phenom Jeremy Lin. Lin is now 3-0 against his former team. With James Harden back in the lineup, the Rockets held on atop the orange and blue despite 45 points and 10 rebounds from Knicks star Carmelo Anthony. It was the highest scoring game in the NBA this season, but Harden netted 36, and Lin added 21 points off the bench to get past New York. The Knicks are now 3-5. They face Atlanta Saturday night at the Garden. Both New York basketball teams have struggled out of the gate. Brooklyn is 2-5. They fell short to the Sacramento Kings on the road Wednesday night. They'll be in Phoenix tonight, and then they'll take on the Clippers in L.A. on Saturday. On the baseball diamond, Yankee captain Derek Jeter, fresh off a 1-year contract, told ESPNNewYork.com at a function for Joe Torre this week that he could see himself leading the league again in hits this year, the way he did in 2012. He said, "Why not?" The 39-year-old Jeter also said that his ankle feels good and that he's going through the full regimen in preparation for a return this year. He'll make $12 million in 2014. He played in 17 games this past season. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. Detroit Tigers star Miguel Cabrera is the American League MVP for the second straight year. In the National League, Pittsburgh Pirates center fielder Andrew McCutchen takes home the honor in the National League. Yankees All-Star second baseman Robinson Cano finished 5th in the AL voting for MVP. The Cy Young winners in the NL. LA Dodger ace Clayton Kershaw is the best of the best. And, of course, in the American League, Detroit's Max Scherzer, who had a season to remember, is the winner in the AL. Out at Rose Hill, Florida men's basketball tried to rally Tuesday night in Syracuse, but fell 89-74 to the Orange at the Carrier Dome. Brandon Frazier had a career-high 33 points in the loss. Standout freshman John Sevier followed with 19. The Rams are now 1-1 and will host Lehigh University tonight in the Bronx before gearing up for Sacred Heart at Rose Hill next weekend. Head coach Tom Pecora is building a nice team at Fordham. He added top recruit Eric Paschal. this week. The big forward is a 2013 Westchester County Mr. Basketball honoree. He inked a national letter of intent to join the Rams in 2014-15. Well, the time is now for the Fordham football team. After surviving Bucknell on November 9th, winning 23-21, the Rams are back in action with 2 regular season games to go and a perfect season on the line. This Saturday, 10-0 Fordham travels to Lafayette for a 3:30 p.m. kickoff. You can listen to the game on 90.7 FM WFUV. In Riverdale, Manhattan men's basketball also opened their schedule and is off to a quick 2-0 start. The Jaspers are coming off a 71-70 win over Columbia on Tuesday. They return to action this Saturday at Draddy Gymnasium, hosting George Washington at 7 p.m. We shift gears from the college hardwood to the NHL ice, where the New York Rangers are slowly and surely coming back to life. They are now 9-9 and third in the Metropolitan Division. Rangers lost a nail-biter 3-2 to New Jersey. The Devils at the Garden on Tuesday night will look to regroup tomorrow night in Montreal. Puck drops at 7 p.m. against the Canadiens. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for another look inside the Knicks' latest woes. I've come to the conclusion that there's no way Carmelo Anthony and the Knicks are going to win a championship anytime soon. And I'm starting to believe that Anthony may be the reason why, and apparently I'm not the only one. ESPN's Chris Bouchard spoke with several league executives about Anthony. You can read the article on ESPNNewYork.com. And when they were asked about his strengths and weaknesses, they said he has enough drive to win a title, but that his me-first attitude likely won't cut it. One exec compared him to Stephon Marbury. One was quoted as saying he's probably Robin on a championship team instead of Batman. He has Batman talent, but the intangibles are missing. Clearly not good news for the organization. Obviously, it remains to be seen. However, although it's early, it looks like the Knicks have taken a step back. There were rumors this week that the team is considering trading Iman Shumpert, their only real young chip, to Denver for forward Kenneth Faried. The Nuggets shot down the rumors, but again, there appears to be some panic at MSG. Anthony had a terrific game Thursday night, tops in the league this season, but the end result was another loss. I posed a question. Is it time for the Knicks to move on past Carmelo? Or is there someone, anyone, they could afford who they can pair to play with Anthony? And is there anyone that wants to play alongside Melo and be the number 2 star here in New York? I'll share my thoughts on Twitter at The Voice Bobby C. Feel free to chime in and let me know what you think. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C. Stay with us. More action coming up right after this.
Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? That zit is huge. Zit face.
Welcome home, man.
There is also a very attractive extended warranty option that includes free service and parts for the next 5 years. But there's no need for you to get that. You failed to get the test you needed at the doctor that would have detected disease early enough where it could have been treated. So you won't be around in 2 years to see him grow up, which means the warranty would be useless. Okay, sign here, please.
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
Hello, welcome back to Open. The Johnny Pacheco Jazz Festival is back for the 3rd year in a row at Lehman College, and artistic director Alan Molnar joins us to tell us about the 3-day festival and what's dazzling the stage. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Rena. It's great to be here.
Yes. So, what's most interesting about this festival is that it's named after Pacheco. So, if you would be so kind, sir, and share with everyone a little bit about Johnny Pacheco.
Well, we are very honored to have Dr. Pacheco's name on the festival. Johnny Pacheco is one of the giants of the Latin music genre, having recorded many albums with Fania All-Stars as a leader and in every capacity, and he's really a legend. And a few years ago, he was given the title of honorary doctorate here at Lehman College. And I thought it would be just such an honor for us to be able to name our jazz festival after him, which was then only a couple of years old, and to have the name of a great artist such as Dr. Pacheco on our festival was really thrilling for us, but also when I reach out to schools for a virtual audience and doing advertising, I'm sending emails literally all around the world to get people to log into the stream, and we've invited schools from all over New York City to not only watch the stream live from their classrooms, but to participate in the festival as performers. And each time the students see the email or hear about the festival, they're hearing the name Johnny Pacheco.
Yes, nice. So, and with that, he's actually becoming more and more known for those who do not know him, which is why I asked, if you could just share a little history about him, just in case you guys are not aware of who Johnny Pacheco is.
Yeah, and so that really keeps the rich history of jazz and Latin music alive by making, in this case, one of the great artists a household name to all the students. So they're inspired to look him up and Google him, and then maybe download some of the tunes off iTunes and really learn more about the music. So that's a thrill for us.
Awesome. Now, the festival itself, are there certain criteria that one needs to meet in order to participate in it? Is it that genre of music, or is it just named after him? Like, what exactly does one walk into being a part of the festival? Let's start there.
Well, jazz and Latin music have many different dimensions to them, and we look for ensembles that are playing jazz, playing Latin music, and there's room. There are just various different corners of each of these genres that are certainly acceptable for playing, but mostly we want the students to have the opportunity to be featured in a festival where they can play for each other. We always have a really great guest artist come in to critique the ensembles and do workshops with them after they perform. It's about a 10-minute critique on what they've done and where they can improve, and a validation of the things that they're doing really well. This year we have Dr. Kurt Gardner coming in from Kansas State University, and I've worked with him for many years, and he's actually done this at our jazz festival for, I think this is his 3rd year, but it's the first time he's actually been here. He's always video conferenced in from his office at Kansas
Nice,
State.
so he's coming personally this
He's
time.
coming, he's going to be in the house.
In the house, hi, nice. So now that was us sharing the actual contributions and participating, but the festival itself is open to audiences, and it's 3 days, and he has an amazing lineup that I would love for you to share with everyone. And also BronxNet is actually going to be recording it live, I believe, on Friday, and it's going to be streamed online as well. But you can certainly share all the details on that.
Absolutely. We have a number, like I said, schools from the 5 boroughs coming to perform, student ensembles. We have a guest college band from the University of Rhode Island that will be performing for us as well, so we're really looking forward to that. And some of the professional ensembles, we have the newly formed Lehman College Faculty Jazz Ensemble with Lee Marvin on bass, who is our bass teacher, our guitar teacher, Robert Winbio, who makes such a wonderful contribution. Victor Rendon is one of our percussion teachers and leads the Latin band, co-leads with Armando Rodriguez, our Latin band. And Willie Rodriguez, the founding principal of Celia Cruz High School, is going to be our pianist. So we perform, and I'm playing vibes in that group, and we perform on Wednesday afternoon. And other groups we have Annette Aguilar and String Beans will be performing Thursday morning. I don't want to leave anyone
yeah,
out
no,
here.
make sure you don't. But also,
Yes.
you're saying in the afternoon, so this is like an all-day thing. Like,
Yes.
what time does the festival start?
We start at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for those people streaming in from wherever, 10 a.m., and we go all the way to about 4 p.m. And
that's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
That's correct. And then Thursday and Friday evening, we have feature performances at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Nice.
And so we have the Bronx Connection, led by Victor Rendon on Thursday night, an incredible Latin band made up of musicians from the Bronx area mostly, and they'll be featured that evening. Friday at 1 p.m. we have Richard Bucas and his Brazilian quartet playing Brazilian jazz, and they are phenomenal.
At 1 o'clock, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that is such a wonderful lunch break. Hello.
And-
I'm just saying, it's like 1 o'clock, yeah, I'm going to go listen to a jazz band. That's hot.
You'll enjoy them. And then 2 p.m. we have a clinician, Rick Faulkner, who is an incredible musician and educator. He's bringing an elementary school Latin band that is not to be missed. And he's going to give a workshop on how to teach music to students of that age, and they're going to perform phenomenal.
And what time is that?
That's 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m.
on Friday.
Nice.
And then after that, we have the great vibraphonist Mike Manieri giving a jazz vibraphone workshop at 3 p.m. And jazz vibraphone and improvisation.
Okay, so just because we're talking about workshops, like, do people have to like register for this in advance, or they can just be in the audience and participate?
They can just come, and it's free, open to the public. And
Oh my goodness!
all they have to
It's
do
got
is
a
show
jazz
up.
feel to it, right?
It
Because
does.
it's a free flow.
It
It's like
sure
just
is.
be there and see what happens.
And Mike Manieri is our featured artist for the festival. He's one of the legendary jazz musicians, I think, of our time, and one of the greatest vibraphone players who have who's been on a stage. And he's worked with everyone from Buddy Rich and Billie Holiday and in the pop world, he's recorded albums for another Bronx. Mike is a Bronx native, by the way,
Nice.
and another Bronx native, Carly Simon. He produced 3 of her albums, and has worked with Dire Straits, and more recently, he's on the Paul McCartney Standards album with the London Symphony, and all these Diana Krall and all these great musicians. So Mike is someone who is really the perfect person for our students to get to play with Friday night, but also to have the opportunities just to be around, because he has done everything. He's a great jazz artist. He's a record producer. He is a record company owner. He's worked in all facets of the industry, writing jingles, performing, doing studio sessions. He's done it all, and has had such a successful and varied career in the music business that, like I said, the perfect person for our students to get to know a little bit.
Absolutely, and made himself accessible to be here on Friday, right?
He sure did, and not only that, I had the opportunity to take a crew of BronxNet student interns down to his apartment at his invitation. We wanted to do an interview with him,
right?
And so he was gracious to invite us into his home. And I have to say, BronxNet is pretty amazing. The students did a phenomenal job. I saw the interview last night, and it could not have been better.
Yay! To BronxNet students.
Yeah,
Yay.
absolutely.
I want to acknowledge all of you guys, because it takes like 20 people to put up the show, and
I
so
know.
it's nice for them to be acknowledged. So.
And that interview is going to play during the intermission on Friday evening at the live broadcast on BronxNet of the Friday night concert featuring Mike Manieri.
Nice.
And so we're
So
really
is that
excited.
that's going to be the intermission?
That's going to be during the intermission.
Nice.
And we will be recognizing 2 great artists. Again, Mike is one of them, and the other is Dr. Bert Conowitz, who brought a jazz festival here, a jazz camp rather, every summer to Lehman College. And he's a great jazz educator who's been in the business a long time, and we're recognizing both him and Mike Manieri as our distinguished artists of the Jazz Festival.
And
So
that's
we're really
happening on
thrilled.
Friday at the Levenger Theater at 7:30.
That's correct.
And you know what, people? You know what my favorite part of this whole thing is? It's free. I love the word free. I love that word. It's awesome. No, and more so just because, it's accessible to you, And so it's experience the culture and the vibrance of all the genres of music, these great musicians, as well as those who are just starting, who get to play with experienced musicians.
Yes.
It's definitely, it sounds like an experience not to be missed.
We're very excited.
You look at. And so if anybody do they have to get tickets though? Do they have to get reservations? Or?
They can contact us if they wish, but really it's just come. We have a 500-seat auditorium that we'd be happy to fill up, and
it's next Wednesday, Thursday, and
Wednesday,
Friday.
Thursday, and Friday. And I think if they just come, we'll have a seat for them.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for being here with us and sharing all this
Thank you so
wonderful information. And also, BronxNet is going to be recording it on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be streamed live, so you can actually access it online for those of you who are in different parts of the world, and which means it'll be happening at 7:30. And of course, you can go to bronxnet.org for more on that. And well, I want to thank you, sir. Or do you have any last words? Because we're out of time, they're saying.
I'm just thrilled that we have the opportunity to be here and to be working with BronxNet and to present this incredible music to the community.
The only thing you didn't share is your participation in the whole thing.
Oh, I'm the jazz lecturer at Lehman College, and so I work with the jazz band. I direct the band. I'll be directing the band on Friday night, and I play vibraphone in the faculty ensemble, and I'm the artistic director and producer of the festival.
And we thank you for taking the time to be here with us.
Thank you.
All right. Alan Molnar, yes. All right, we are out of time, like I said, and for more on the festival, you can go to lehman.edu/jazzfest. And that is our show today, people. We'd like to thank all of our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. And of course, to check out the Recablecast, you can tune in tonight and throughout the weekend here on BronxNet, Cablevision Channel 67, Verizon Channel 33, and 24 hours a day by going to bronxnet.org. Once again, I'm Rina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide peace, prosperity, and love. Mwah. Adios. So.
Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? That zit is huge. Zit face.